first thing I noticed is you've got a bunch of speakers around this room, but they're stereo sets of speakers and they're different brands of speakers.
Yes. These ProAx Studio 100s, the foundation of my career. I used them from day one. An excellent engineer when I moved to town named Efried Shippen sold them to me for a song, and it was a real blessing. And so when I first moved to town, that is what I started on. And up to about a year ago, that's what I lived on. Those are my main speakers that, I mixed a bunch of music on, and I still love them. Still use them at low leveling monitoring just to kind of check out snare levels. Often I'll flip them into mono and make some EQ choices. I love the way they sound. The mid-range and lower mids are the best around, in my opinion. I wanted to find a speaker that I wouldn't have to rely on a sub with. There was always something in the back of my mind, because when I was running these as my mains, I had 2 subs, and I always had this thought in my mind, like, what am I missing in the crossover situation? What am I missing between the sub and the ProAx? And do I run the ProAx full range, or do I, and then eventually I got a churn off, which a lot of you guys might know about it, but a lot of you guys might not. It's a really great box that does a lot of analyzation, and it crosses over your speakers with subs, but it also, more importantly, phase aligns like left, right, ProAx, and then the 2 subs. And that was a drastic difference, and I enjoyed it very much. My assistant for a long time, Warren David, for about 3 or 4 months, about a year and a half ago, kept on telling me to try these Dutch and Dutch speakers, which of course I was reluctant to, because I don't like to change things. But he finally convinced me to put them up, and for a while I had them up in tandem with my ProAx, and I found myself just listening a lot more on the Dutch and Dutch than the ProAx as weeks went by when they were set up in the room. So I made the switch over to that. These speakers are incredible. I do not need a sub with them, which is really cool, and there's a lot of sort of comfort in my brain when I'm working on them, knowing that everything's coming from one source, which is something I've never experienced before. And so it's been really fun, and I've got to learn something new. I feel like it's pushed me a little bit in different directions than I would have gone in the past with just the new listening environment, which I think is good as a creative, to be able to expand, and not just sit in your own sort of ways forever, I think it's pushed me in different directions. I feel like I'm able to have a little bit more understanding of what's going on in the low end and a little more confidence down there. So these guys have been with me from day one too, Dyne Audio BM5As. And believe it or not, when clients are here, out of all the speakers in the room, most people like to just live on those at a low level. They feel like a lot of times they think that these make the most sense. We can't, like, when clients attend, we camp out on those at low level and make choices. And
you got the iLouds down there too, right?
Oh yeah. I have the iLouds, which haven't been fired up in a while, but we do a lot of traveling, and those come along with me if I have to make any tweaks or revisions while I'm on the road. And I guess